So find comfortable standing position, and let's just start off by gentle shakes. Just start with the wrists. Nice and solid through the feet and the ground. And actually this is quite nice, bringing the wrists towards you. So yeah, we're working predominantly or focusing mainly on breathing, but actually we want the body moving, we want the body cleared to actually create space for the breath. And then just let the arms rest by the side, just hang by the side. You should feel some nice tingling down that arm line. And then let's go to the feet. So just a little bit of shake. Again, just nice and easy, doesn't have to be vigorous. Just get some vibration going through the body. So just shaking the ankles, loosening up the ankles a little bit, and maybe just bouncing the heels into the ground. And then just come back to balance. Take a moment now, bring your feet a little bit closer together. And just take a moment, pop your hands on your lower abdominals here. So as you know, in Tai Chi, Qigong, this area is referred to as the lower dantian. So our lower reservoir of power, of physical energy. So any movement, when we're teaching Qi running, any movement starts from this center. So we're just going to bring the breath down to the center. Now by that, I don't mean actually doing anything actively to pull the breath down into the center of the body. It's just an awareness. So to start off with, we're just following, being aware of the breath. Now obviously you can't bring air into the stomach unless you're gasping it in through the mouth. So think logically, what is happening is your diaphragm is coming down a little bit, which is actually just bringing that focus down into the center of the body. So just bring your mind down into the center of the body. Just bring awareness, just following the breath. You can close your eyes if you want to, whatever feels comfortable with you. You're just centering yourself. Now bring awareness to the body, so feel your feet in contact with the ground. Maybe give your toes a little bit of a wiggle. Maybe shift your weight slightly backwards onto the heels, slightly forward. So we're just fine-tuning our balance. Keep the knees soft so they're not locked out. Feel the strength and the power in the legs, but without any sort of excess stress and tension, so without tightness. So the real fine-tuning of power through relaxation. Center. Now let's focus on upper body. So visualize the back of the body, the back of the spine, and each of the vertebrae. So the vertebrae of the spine are designed as separate little sections. It's not rigid, so we don't want a fixed spine or a fixed posture. And the idea of energy moving and flow is all about spiral movement. So what is a really good visualization is to visualize air spiraling, if you like, up each of the vertebrae through the spine and then just out through the crown of the head. So you're lengthening the spine without locking. So it's all about easing and lengthening rather than just hoiking everything up and locking. This is so important because if we lock the spine, we're not going to have created the space, the room for us to breathe. So as we breathe, each of those vertebrae in the spine, there's very subtle movement. It's not locked. So we focus on the diaphragm as the breathing muscle, but we need to have everything else in place to allow the diaphragm to work efficiently, to allow the breathing muscles to work efficiently. So now bring one hand just up onto the sternum, onto the upper chest here. So you've got one hand on your lower dantian. The other hand, if you practice yoga, think of the heart center or the middle dantian. And what I'd like you to do here is, again, just following the breath easily. We're not controlling the breath, we're not guiding the breath. I want you to feel or sense or just be aware of almost like a spine wave. So if I was to do it, I would be exaggerating that spine wave. But I want you just to sense that. So as you breathe in, you'll feel the energy coming into the lower dantian. But then also the energy rises and you almost get that ripple. So your spine extends and your crown lifts. It's very, very subtle. Even if you just imagine the spine wave, that's brilliant. It's really nice just to imagine that spine waving. It's almost like if you imagine a blade of grass waving in the wind, or bamboo waving in the wind. And the head might go with it a little bit. You might feel your neck lengthening as you're breathing in, and then just softening. Here's the rain coming, so you might be getting some nice nature sounds in the background. It's important when we're doing our practice that we're not always doing something as we're doing it. We tend to think, I need to be doing something. I need to be meditating and turning my mind off. Just allow things to happen. Just notice things. Give yourself time and space to notice these subtle, subtle movements. So as you take an easy breath in, that spine is extending, crown is lifting. As the breath naturally leaves the body, softens the rib cage. And we're breathing in and out easy, effortlessly light, in and out through the nose. Shoulders are soft, shoulders are relaxed, space in that upper back. Jaw relaxed, cheeks relaxed. Feet strong and grounded and stable. If you feel you want to move slightly forwards and backwards as well, see if that is happening. Just go with that. If the weight shifts slightly back to the heels, if it happens naturally. Again, I don't want you to do anything. And then just take a little moment where you just rest the arms by the side, move around a little bit if you need to move around. And again, just shake out if you need to shake anything out. So really focusing on easy, light breathing, breathing into the center without doing anything, just bringing awareness and feeling that almost like that really subtle spine wave, even if you imagine it or visualize it rather than actually doing anything. That's the point of that particular moment, that particular experience that I'd like you to have. Now we're going to exaggerate some movement. So we're going to exaggerate the volume of air that we're breathing. We're also going to exaggerate the movement for the purposes of creating mobility, space, and stretching in the pure sense of the word, not as in pulling and hoiking our body apart. So we're just going to take our feet a little bit wider apart. So you're about shoulder width apart. Now remember, in Qigong, Tai Chi, the idea is that you're grounded downwards, so you're really grounded and stable and strong, and at the same time you're lifted, your energy is moving upwards as well. So it's a really nice way of extending the opposite of the earth and the sky. So that's a really nice visualization where whenever you are in this, whatever position you're in, with a little bit of bend in the knees, just so that we're really, really grounded and we're really strengthening the legs as we do this practice as well. And we're just going to, I'll show you the movement first and then we'll coordinate the breath with it. You bring your palms up and then you reach up and you can look up and push up. And then you bring your palms down. So it's just an exaggeration of that spine wave. So as you're bringing your arms up, you're extending the spine, you're extending the thoracic spine, you're extending the neck, and you're looking up. And then as you bring your arms down, you're keeping tall through the spine, but you're coming more into a flexed position. So you're extending, doesn't have to be big. You're pushing down into the ground with the legs. Make sure you keep the knees soft. And then bring your arms down. So for the moment, just breathe easy in and out through the nose, or whatever rhythm you are comfortable in breathing. You're opening up now the rib cage. If you imagine the back of the spine, the rib cage is attached to the back of the spine. So as the spine extends, you can open up the rib cage to the side. You're getting some movement through the ribs. And again, as you know, with all of these movements, it's not about stress or strain or push or force. It's about smoothness, fluidity. If there's any pain, if you're holding your breath, if your breath becomes a little bit chaotic, then you just stop. If you just get to there, that's fine. The important thing is that we're working with a flowing movement. Now what you can do is start to exaggerate the movement slightly. So I keep looking forwards, but as you come back, what you can do is you can bring the hips back a little bit. And then as you come up, you can open up and you can extend the spine a little bit more. Just gently. Again, don't think of stretching or forcing. Really keep the feet strong and connected to the ground. Bring the focus back to the breath. So now, keep the movement flowing, but it's a bit like spinning plates. The focus is the breath. So actually, now you've learned the movement pattern, it's almost like the breath is just guiding the movement. So let's see if we can coordinate breathing in and breathing out. So now we're adding a little bit of control to the breath because we're following the movement. Breathing in, and this is in and out through the nose. It's not big breaths. So remember, the key foundation of functional breathing is that we want to breathe just the right volume of air that our body needs for what it's doing at that moment in time. This is the bit that's often missed, that biochemical aspect. So if I was over breathing, if I was gulping air in and taking too big a breath for what I'm doing now, yeah, we might get some more breath into the body, but we might end up over breathing, starting to feel dizzy. And actually by over breathing, we are not oxygenating our body as efficiently as we should be. So the breathing is light, but it can still be full. And because we're slowing the breath, also you will be taking a greater volume of air in one breath if this is actually slowing your breath. And we are using the body, we're using muscles, so you will need a greater volume of air than if we were doing this just in a sitting position. So we're breathing in, and we're breathing out. In and out through the nose. You can bend the knees a little bit, you can sink a little bit as you breathe in, you can push through the heels a little bit. And you're breathing out. And in. And out. Let's do two more. Breathing in. And then just let the arms rest by the side, bring the feet together. And again, just take a moment. Really be aware of how we've worked the spine there. Really got that nice, long, tall spine without just forcing it into position. Step the feet out again, just about shoulder width apart, a little bit of bend in the knees. We're really strengthening the legs on these practices as well. Strength, power, flexibility, everything's going on here. Same thing, but this time you just do opposite sides. So let's reach, I'll mirror you, let's reach up with the left side and a little bit of a lean over. So as we're breathing in, we're just extending here and just focus on breathing into this left side of the body. And then swap back down. And then just breathe into the right side of the body. So it's just a little bit of a lean again. It's not a big hoiking stretch. Swap palms across and breathe in. And breathe out. And then into the right. And breathe out. So we're breathing into the side of the body, the side of the ribs, expanding that left side, breathing into this whole left side of the body. Getting that rib cage moving, creating a space for efficient breathing. Nice and easy breath in and out through the nose. Use the feet to keep stable and the legs, that little bit give in the knees. The rain is here again. It's actually very relaxing till it starts dripping from the leaking gutter. Breathing in, expanding, creating space in the body, space in the rib cage. Use the fingers as well. We often get quite tight in the hands, so really stretch the fingers. Push the palms to the sky. I notice a big difference if I'm at the Mac and I'm using the mouse a lot, is that right hand, the right fingers. And when I stretch the fingers, I can feel it pulling all the way through the inside and the outside of the arms. Again, the body doesn't see itself as individual parts, but one unit. So stretching the fingers can help to create space in other parts of the body. Get rid of those blockages, those tightnesses. Let's do one more each side. Really focusing on simple movement, simple movement. So it becomes repetitive and you don't have to think about the movement and you can just follow the breath. So breathing in and then breathing out, and then just bring both hands down to the side. We'll do one more movement and then we'll just sit for the last 5 minutes just to focus on the breath. So just take a minute just to balance again, move around a little bit. Bump the heels into the ground if you need to. Then we're going to step out again to our shoulder width, a little bit of bend in the knees, a little bit of hips sliding back. Let's open up the front of the chest. Start off just by getting some knocking and banging on this sternum. So again, if we're tight at the front of the chest, it's going to pull everything in. It's going to flex everything into the body. If we're feeling particularly vulnerable, then our body comes into this flexion position. We tighten the shoulders, we tighten the front of the body. So we want to open the chest. Posture is very much affected by our mind, how we're feeling, what we're thinking. So we can counterbalance any tightness by stretching and opening. And then just let the arms rest by the side. So we're going to go back to that idea of the spine waving. You're bringing the palms up as you get to chest height. We're just going to open up and really open up the collarbone. So lift your sternum towards the sky. Now watch when you're doing this that we're not just crunching this lower back. So when you're extending the spine, focus on that extension coming here from the thoracic spine. This is where we want to work on extending. So you're lifting the collarbone or lifting the sternum. So lift and open. Really open up. You can look up and then come back in. Now you can soften a little bit. You can round the chest a little bit. And then the spine, that spine wave, lift and open. What is good about these opening exercises or practices of the upper chest is watch that you don't hike the shoulders up or pull everything up. So you're opening the upper chest, but the shoulders are down and you're really creating space in the rib cage rather than just hiking or breathing in too much to the upper chest. We do breathe into the upper chest. We've got to breathe into the upper chest. We don't want to not breathe into the upper chest. So there's nothing wrong with chest breathing. It's how you breathe into the chest. So if you can take a fuller breath when you're running and exercising, you need a good lung volume. You need space in the rib cage to allow that breath into the body. So the last thing we want to do is think, oh, I can only breathe in my belly and I can't breathe in my chest. Because otherwise then you are creating restriction. Open up, lift the sternum. Open up to the sky. You might feel some crunches, some creaks coming on. Soften the knees. Open up. And actually I misread the clock, so I thought we were 5 minutes more. We haven't really got 5 minutes more, but keep going with this practice. Remind me to put my glasses on next time. Open up, open the chest. One more. And then just bring the hands back down to the belly, step the feet together, and take a seat. So we've got a couple of minutes just to, now we've opened up all of this space in our body, just take a comfortable sitting position. So you can be on the floor, on the chair. Just for the last 2 minutes. Give yourself a little stretch, move the shoulders if you need to. You could do ear to shoulder. And now lips lightly together. The tongue resting just gently on the roof of the mouth. Tall through the spine. Breathing in and out through the nose. And now just bring your awareness with each breath to all of the space that you've created within that rib cage, all of that extra space through that movement. So you can maybe feel a little bit of that spine wave. Sense that openness across the collarbone, across the front of the chest.
Nine o'clock.
Focus on the space. The space is a really good place to bring your attention, the space in the body. And the ease of breath. In and out through the nose. And as the body calms now, as you need less air than when you're moving, just allow the breath to slow and be calm and still and light. Feel the breath going deep into the body. Tummy's relaxed. Feel the breath going into the sides of the ribs and the back of the body. But this is just happening. You're not doing anything. You're just noticing. And then just bring your palms again just onto your lower abs as we did when we were standing at the beginning. Just bringing that attention down. And if you had your eyes closed, you can open your eyes. If you feel you need to stretch again, just have a little stretch, whatever you need to do. And we will finish there. Thank you for your time and attention. Thursday's class will be 8:30. We'll be focusing a little bit more on movement. You may have got the email. I'm changing the format of these classes from the beginning of December. So what I'm doing is I'm putting all of the classes in one training portal rather than having separate training portals for the classes. So you can get access to that one training portal if you want to, but that training portal will be under subscription. But the classes will still be free. I'm still doing these free classes. If you're signed up to the free classes, you will still have access to all of those classes back from May. So those other two training portals are still there. You won't lose access to that. You'll still get access to that. So it just means that with the training portal, I can offer more. I'm going to do question and answer sessions. There's going to be some additional videos on there and some additional training materials and discounts and things. So that's starting from the 1st of December. But as I say, these classes will remain free. They will always be free, but they'll be streaming on YouTube and on Facebook free. The subscription element will be the Zoom and all of those additional benefits. So have a great day. I'll see you at the same time, same place next week, and hopefully on Thursday too. Thanks very much for tuning in. See you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.